It is, what is it? It's Sunday. It's Sunday. Sorry, Sunday afternoon. Flower says, hey, I call first again. How are you, Flower? So, yep, it's Sunday, just about 1 o'clock. I think I might have come on a minute early. And I got a cat here messing with me, demanding more and more attention. We got a lot of burpee action going on, guys. We got Louise and Leo Setso and Jacob doing what's called the shot collar. 500 Navy SEALs. Navy SEAL is a 3 pump, meaning 3 push-ups per movement. So if you do 500, you're going to hit 1,500 push-ups. As well, it heavily involves the core, the hip flexors. Full body movement for sure. So they only got 100 reps left. I thought about waiting, but I don't know how long I'm going to stay live. Maybe an hour. And I thought there might be some friends who are some non-burpee friends who I want to talk about some things. So if no one, if it's a small group of people, maybe we'll cover some breath work, which I don't always get to cover, in a busier chat. It's just a little hard. So let's give it a few minutes, see what happens. I also thought we'd talk more about Course in Miracles. I thought that maybe I might go through the workbook. Of course, not the whole workbook, as that is 365 daily lessons. And you are not supposed to do more than 1 lesson a day. Let's start off with the very beginning, though. Let's go to the text. Go to the introduction. I think it's the introduction that really hooked me on A Course in Miracles. And of course, it took me forever to get past the introduction. That, I would dive. The text is very hard it's heavy stuff to read. Not all of it, but it's in a difficult language, difficult style of English. Poetic in a lot of senses, but also just really dense. Now, there's versions you can read, and there's books that you can read of that explain it quite well, but I do recommend working your way, however slowly, through it. Again, I kept putting it aside and putting it aside, but I also did the same with the text, or with the workbook, and the workbook is pretty straightforward. The reason is, you're taking a year, you're doing these exercises, and the exercises are designed to diminish your dependency on the ego. It doesn't get rid of the ego, but it shows that the ego is not isn't our field of identity. That we are the field itself, and not that pinpoint that we think we are. This is why it becomes easier to deal with people when they come on and say things. Let's see, Edith says I liked and sub. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. If people come in and they attempt to troll or disrupt the conversation, it's generally easy to deal with, because why would I get my ego involved in the whole issue? It's the ego that is attacking me. If I attack back, it's the ego that attacks back. me, myself, can remain free of all that. So that's why the Course says that our true power is in defenselessness, which is a hard thing for us to wrap around our heads around, because we always want to defend, and we think in terms of, if you don't defend, you're weak. However, defense itself is a sign of weakness, because it means that your ego has been hurt and you're responding in kind. However, if you get this sense of freedom, this sense of liberation from the ego, again, I'm not saying the ego is gone or disappears, but if you just don't take it so seriously, you're free, you're liberated, because now you know the power of defenselessness. You can't be touched. Words on a screen is just that, words on a screen. How could that ever affect you? This is why I'm going to bring this up in a minute, lesson number 5 in A Course in Miracles says that we are never upset for the reason we think we are. Let's see. Give me 1 second, Flower. I want to bring up my desktop so that I can read the comments easier. That way I don't have to keep squinting into the phone. My cat literally just bit me. I think that Flower's cat has been a bad influence on my cat. My cat was all nice and peaceful until my cat and I sat and watched Flower's cat attack her. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to answer your question in just a minute. Here we go. Flower says, Yogi, how do you usually react when you get jump scared? What do you mean by jump scared? Like startled? I think when you get startled, it's a natural reaction of the central nervous system. So you just react. It's what you do afterwards that really counts. Now, having said that, after doing breath work and meditation and yoga, I think the time of that first reaction to feeling calm is really pretty short. So it might look like, well, I didn't have any reaction. Of course I did, but you go from that fight or flight to the rest and digest. You go from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic in a very easy and natural way. Breathwork is invaluable for every single age. Flower says, because I realize that I don't scream. I just react and maybe swear, and I might laugh at myself a second later. That's actually a good way to go through it. Of course, there's nothing the matter with screaming. There's nothing the matter with, however you react. Because again, it's more of the central nervous system taking place. What it shows is that your central nervous system is actually pretty calm. Flower says, I don't scream a lot, but I do scream on purpose just for fun. Man, I'm trying to think when the last time I screamed. And it was probably at a concert in my teens, and I was yelling for the concert. Milka has said plenty of times that I don't think she's ever heard me raise my voice. Nothing special about that. It's just, again, years of meditation and breath work and yoga, you just get a little bit calmer. Having said that, man, something might happen right now that could make me scream. I don't foresee it, but it could happen. Man, I hope it never happens when I'm on camera. Then my entire yogi reputation is down the drain. Who's going to want to listen to a yogi talk about this stuff who just scream like a girl, no offense to girls, on camera. That's a hard thing to live down. But since it hasn't happened in 59 years, I think I'm pretty safe for the next 59, assuming I live to be, what, 118? So let's go back to A Course in Miracles here. I'm going to read the introduction, and we can work through it a little bit at a time, if anyone wants to. Again, I don't suspect there's going to be a lot of people today. As I mentioned, there's lots of big stuff happening in the burpee world. As a matter of fact, here's a link for the burpee guys. Barb says, hugs and blessings to one and all. Thank you, Barb. Hug and blessings to you, my friend. So this is what hooked me. Man, maybe 1989 or so, having read this in another book, and I thought, all right, I need to get this book. I need to study it. That this is my path towards enlightenment and liberation. And I remember saying that to several people when they would say, what do you think is the way? And I would always say, I think for me, the way is Course in Miracles. Little did I know how often it was going to weave in and out of my life. But let's read the intro real quick. It's just 2 paragraphs. Barb says, thank you, and so many rooms open today. And Wolf is here. Let's see, is that Cornell says, bro, eat some meat before you disappear. I'll leave the meat eating to you, my friend. Let's see. So the introduction says, this is A Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It only means that you can elect what you want to take at any given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. So this is the next part that really blew me away all those years ago. This course can therefore be summed up simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. So this is why I was talking about defenselessness. Why argue with, what's the name there? Cornell? Why argue with him? It's something that he doesn't even exist. 1, words on a screen. 2, he himself, the Cornell that he actually believes that he is, doesn't even exist. He's a figment of his own imagination. He's wavering thoughts in a void. Who, as an ego, is trying to prove his own existence, or her, I don't know, trying to prove his own existence by shouting in that void, by saying, hey, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Look at me. Look how clever I am. Look how funny I am. Look how serious I am. Look how much information I have. But none of that means anything. None of that proves an identity. The identity itself is absolute love. So when you're forgiving someone, you don't look at the personality. It's not my personality forgiving someone else's personality. It's my innate beingness. It's my absolute love looking past the personality and seeing the infinite spirit of that person. It's an easy way of going through life. I don't have to butt heads with anyone. I don't have to argue. I don't have to argue with someone to tell me to eat meat, which is ridiculous. Um, so, where were we, guys? Hey, guys, you would have been proud of the Iron Fisted Flower this morning. She took charge of the morning live stream, sent people packing. Let's see. Our friend Optimob. Hey, Optimob, Timo and Sabine and Bax have a big premiere coming up. Hey, Timo, did everything upload okay? Let's see. Thank you for saying that, Optimob. Hit the like, please. Barb says we are all a shell of what we should be. We are the craftsmen of God, and the energy that we are made from are empty until we see the light within us is good. Beautifully said, Barb. This is why the Course in Miracles starts off saying that this is a meaningless world. Which, man, who wants to hear that? I don't want to be told I live in a meaningless world, but then it tells you why it's a meaningless world. Because it is a world that we have given things their own meaning, separate from the innate meaning of the beingness itself. Let's use an example of a tree. For some, a tree has the meaning of lumber. For someone else, it has the meaning of getting rid of, so they have the property to build a shopping mall on. For someone else, it's a tree that gives them shade, or it gives them nuts, or it gives them something else. The tree itself, the only meaning of a tree is the loveliness of God's creation of a tree. We're giving everything the meaning that it has. Everything. It's all thought-based. And of course, because we're thinking through the ego, everything is fear-based. Everything is based on fear. We have to cut down this tree for lumber because we need to build something. Because if we don't build something, how are we going to sell something? And if I don't sell something, how am I going to make money? If I don't have money, how am I going to eat? Everything based on fear. Don't ask me to repeat that. There's no way I can repeat all that again. However, there's another way of thinking. We can think from love instead of fear. Course says that fear is the opposite of love, but only as an illusion, because love itself has no opposite. It's all encompassing. How can something absolute actually have an opposite? If we say God is love, does God have an opposite? So again, Barb, that was beautifully said. I appreciate you writing that. Barb says hi too. Optimob says everything is fine. Everything is a go. All right, guys, that means just have your popcorn ready. Be on the edge of your seat. Well, make yourself comfortable and enjoy the ride. I've mentioned before, every premiere from Timo and Sabine is an event. Flower says, yesterday I was gone for a few minutes and I came across a live that I decided to stay in and became good friends and even a mod. Now I'm waiting for them to go live again. Nice. Glad you made some new friends. I'm glad you still take the time to visit your old friends. I'd miss you if you left. Barb says thumbs up for Yogi. Thank you, Barb. Optimov says, Flower, today is a premiere. I hope you guys can make it. Barb says, I read it in a book yesterday. We get the right message at the right time, don't we, Barb? Just one Sue, who has been posting some beautiful sky videos. Nothing like a Pennsylvania sky. So don't forget, guys, we got the premiere coming up later this evening. I forget what time it'll be for me. But if you bookmark it, or if you click the notification, it'll show up in your time, I believe. I'm not even going to ask for a hint what it's about, because I wouldn't be surprised. Flower says, nah, I'd never leave. I appreciate that. I'm going to mention again, the iron fist of Flower made itself evident this morning. Someone kept going on and on and on about something I don't even remember. But when Flower had enough, she said, she gave him a warning. If you keep it up, I'm going to get rid of you. And he pretty much dared her. And Flower just very good naturedly said, bye. Let's see. Eric Lapointe. How you doing? I'm checking back in with coming up into the final reps, guys. Let's see. Flower says, or Wolf says, great Flower. We grow by meeting others and learning new things. Absolutely. Especially with an open mind. You know, how often here do we have people come in with an agenda, with a message that I don't want to hear what this person or someone else has to say. I want to make sure that they know what I have to say. That, you know, have you found Jesus? Have you found Krishna? Have you found whoever? You know, it's all about that agenda. Let's see. Flower says he was going on about you being gay. He was asking about my earring. How could I be manly with an earring? My question is, how can you not be manly with an earring? Flower said also, he said, do it stupid. So I just said bye-bye. She did. Didn't even hesitate. This is why Flower, Wolf, Squirrel Sniper, Reaper, Eric Lapointe, and Goldie, actually. These guys don't play games. Actually, all of the mods. Everyone has their own limit. You know what I mean? I've had enough of this person. Let's get rid of him. Let's see. Flower says, or Barb says, Flower, that is why we have free will. If we don't like something, we can stay, and if not, we can leave. Our friend Laradox is here. Laradox, how are you? Let's drop a link here for our friend Laradox. Laradox is steadily climbing at 525 subscribers. William's here. William says, hey, Yogi. William, how are you? Let's see. Flower says it was only 30 minutes, though. Maybe he'll come back and redeem himself, or not. He'll get hid this time. Yeah. Either way. Makes no difference to me, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I did not see Sabine come in. Sabine, my friend, how are you? Sabine says, hi, everyone, and Yogi's live. Hope you're all doing fine. I hope so, too. One more reminder that Sabine, Timo, and Bex are having a premiere. Again, I'm tempted to ask for a hint. I'm tempted to say, so what's it going to be about? But I'd rather be surprised. Let's see. William says, still feel like I need an escape. Here's a question. 2 questions. Who is it that needs an escape? And how would it possibly escape? Where would it go where you are not present? If every issue, every problem, every trouble that we have is based within the mind, that is a thought, then where are you ever going to go that you can escape, that you're not going to have those thoughts? That doesn't mean there isn't a way out, because there is a way out. But it has nothing to do with escaping. It has everything to do with facing those thoughts head on, not as if they're a reality, but in the investigation of what they truly are. And when you can see through them, they're no longer trouble. They're just thoughts. Let's see. Sue says, I posted some videos of your favorite river this morning. Some hawks flying over. Awesome. So 2 things. I'm going to have it up so I can view it later. And I'm going to drop the link so you guys can visit. In case anyone doesn't know, my favorite river being the Susquehanna River. Let's see. Barb says, I'm worried that when I go for surgery and not doing lives, my numbers will drop. But if it does, it does. If it does, you'll build it back up. You have a core audience that's not going to forget you. You're going to be in our conversation daily. You're going to have prayer sent to you. You're going to have love sent to you. So you're going to be in all of our minds. So when you're back, you just let us know you're back and things will pick up right where they were. Everyone's saying hey to William. Speed says that's nice to hear. Dottie's here. Dottie missed 200 plus subscribers. 204 to be exact. And there's her link. Dottie says, hi, all my favorite friends, all my lovely friends. Sorry. Flower says, bro, ISTG with these trolls. I was at 92 subs. Now back. I don't know what ISTG. I tried to figure that out, but I couldn't. Now back at 91. Bruh. Some of it might have been, bots. Mine go up and down all the time. That's why, like when we were shooting to get our friend Joe Delaney at 500, I really wanted to see her at 500 plus so that there wouldn't be that drop. You get all excited at 500 and then you check again and you're at 497. So he says, today I'm kind of off balance. So I hope you all understand. I can't stay long. I don't feel that well right now. So I hope you all excuse me. Absolutely, my friend. Definitely take care of yourself. I hope you feel better, Sabine. Sue says, I couldn't believe those hawks were right over me. That was the first, and I loved it. Hey, Sue, you know what I've discovered? The more I open myself to record whatever nature offers me, the more that it offers me. The greater my expectations for something of beauty, the easier those expectations are filled. And it could be something small. Like I did a millipede yesterday. This morning it was foxes. But it's always something. And I just open to all of it. And that's what I see with your love of the sky. It's so vast, it's so beautiful that you're ready for whatever's going to appear within that sky. Dottie's saying hi to everyone. Let's see. Timo says, Flower, don't care about the numbers of subs. Once I lost in 4 hours, 26 subs. Wow, that is impossible. 4 ago, 6 come back. Good advice. Thank you for that, Timo. Flower says, yeah, that's true. Though, oh, I swear to God. Okay. Man, I could have looked at that all day and not figured it out. Dottie goes, Flower, I go up and down on subs, but I'm only here to share my journey. And I'll tell you guys, it's a beautiful journey. Speed says, Barb, special prayer and lots of love going out to you. All will be fine. Big sub to you. Thank you for that, Sabine. Sue says, I just go with the flow. What I see, I see. I'll take it all. Beautiful. Beautifully said. And that's why I love your channel so much. Let's see. William says, it's really opening when you don't have anything. I tried to stream with Twitch. Probably won't try to make anything of it. I need to get a foundation for myself. I wish I could relate to sub count. Hey, William, have you thought about doing something on your YouTube channel? The Journey of William, or the Rediscovery of William. What you're going through right now, probably many others are as well. Where you end up, many others are going to want to. Let's see. And William says, I was told that it doesn't matter. Even if one cow comes back from pasture to eat, it still came to eat. What you offer has no less value, relational to subs. Keep being amazing. Nice. Jerry's here. Jerry says, hey, 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 look who's here. Mr. G, Mr. Eric. How are you, my friend? Jerry, I'm well. How are you? That's quite an entrance, my friend. Very much appreciated. And we get the link dropped for Optimob and the big premiere coming up, guys. Thank you for dropping that, Timo. I keep saying it over and over again. There is nothing like an Optimob premiere. Let's see. Jerry says, have you checked out my first post on Instagram? I haven't. You know what? I'll look for it, though. I don't go to Instagram all that often, to be honest with you. I do go to Facebook because I got longtime friends and family, new friends, and it's easy. It feels more personal. Instagram just seems sort of like snapshots of people's lives. But, you know, Instagram, I get to know people, or if I already know them, you know, I get to see the details of their life. Gary's doing super awesome. Wow. That's pretty amazing. I'd like to hear it. William says, the idealism of an unhinged psychopath probably would interest a lot of people. I need a set of career skills before I let public opinion chance my viability of employment. Or you could remove yourself from the influence of public opinion altogether, which is entirely possible. And then you're absolutely free. Let's see. Because that includes you as well. You free yourself of your own best opinion. Imagine that. Imagine if you didn't believe everything you thought. Imagine if it was just a thought, a fluctuation of energy occurring in the vast emptiness, the blue sky nature that you are. And you saw everything in that from that blue sky vantage point. It was a cloud or a passing plane or it was a thunderstorm. You get angry. However, anger doesn't last. You don't punish yourself for being angry. The sky doesn't hold a grudge against every passing cloud. It doesn't hold a grudge against thunder and lightning. It simply stays the sky. That's the very same nature that you are. So why hold a grudge of anything that occurs in here? Why hold any resentments or grievances? Timo says he has to go with Max for a walk. Be right back. I do like the title though. Idealism of an Unhinged Psychopath. So I'm just checking out over at the Burpee Reaper. They have done their reps. They're getting into some extra stuff. That's pretty amazing. Not surprising, but pretty amazing. So imagine all our lives, we have been cruising through it with a mistaken identity. That we are our thoughts, our opinions, our beliefs. That we're our fears, our fantasies, our ambitions. That all of that is us. Instead of just being passing clouds in our own blue sky nature. And imagine how easy it is to actually be able to shift that back. To be able to see that. That in every moment you have a choice. You can say, I can be at peace instead of this. I can choose love instead of this. Our friend Zach is here. Zach, my friend, how are you? This is why I mentioned before, and then right at the beginning of the conversation, that introduction in A Course in Miracles, where it says the Course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your true natural inheritance. What you are is love, your true natural inheritance. However, because of, we could say, the trauma of birth, the trauma of emerging from the safety of a mother's womb into the harsh light of a hospital, and then getting smacked right out of the mat, and experiencing cold for the first time, experiencing all the things that seem so foreign, that aren't us. But certainly a traumatic experience. And then, you settle in, you're this happy little bundle of awareness, and as you progress, you find all the things you're told not to do, all the things you're told not to be, all the things that you're given, expectations, beliefs, opinions, as you go through life. And all that natural awareness just soaks it up, just absorbs it, and believes that this is who I am, because I was told. I was told that I'm smart. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that I was short. I was told that I was tall. Every day on YouTube live stream, I am told that I am bald. I am told that I should eat meat. I am told that I'm gay, or I'm told that I'm straight, or I'm told something. Imagine if I believed all of that. That would be ridiculous. However, we do believe it when we're kids, and we believe it now, even just a little bit. Someone says something like that, and we start thinking, man, should I start eating meat? Am I gay? Even though I was married forever, and since I was a kid, have almost always had a girlfriend. Um, am I too short? Am I too bald? Should I do something about that? Is there anything to do anything about that? That becomes my identity, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And here's the reason why it's ridiculous: because my true identity remains untouched by all of it, and at any moment I can choose to go back to being untouched. All right, that sounded a little weird. Um, our friend Squirrel Sniper. I was thinking about Squirrel Sniper this morning. It's been a few days. How are you, my friend? We got the traditional Squirrel Sniper greeting. Greeting beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies. One of my favorite entrances. Jerry says, although I see that you're here and talk to you via comments, enough for me. Zach says, good. Let's see. What if being told to live is one of them? Well, were you told to live, or did you find yourself alive? Before existence, were you told to exist, or did you just find yourself happily in existence? Before awareness, were you told to be aware, or did you find yourself happily aware? Before birth, were you told to emerge into a brand new world, or did you simply emerge? No one has to tell you to live. But why would you think that doing anything that would enliven you would cease your existence? Would you just carry the burden onwards? Would it be recycled? Would you pass it on to someone else? That if you did something harmful for yourself, what harm towards other people would that cause? For those that love you, for those that care about you. Being told how to live is a different story, though. Jerry says, every time I see you and hear you, things just simply way amazing to add in my knowledge, which I can share with my kids someday. Well, thank you for that, Jerry. Man, your kids, they're going to be some lucky kids to have a father like you. Wolf says, everything we have ever been taught or think we know can be broken down to just an opinion. Absolutely. And I knew Wolf was going to drop some knowledge. Only when we realize that did we begin to gain true knowledge. Exactly. We've been given information, which has nothing to do with knowledge. And everyone has more or less information or different information than someone else. Has absolutely nothing to do with intelligence or knowledge. Let's see. Zach said there's a quote that I made. Let's hear it, my friend. Sniper says, paying attention to is the highest form of currency exchange, highest form of currency exchange in life. Currency exchange rate. I knew I'd get it on the third attempt. Nice. This is why in Huxley's book, The Island, and they had signs posted all over, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And every parrot would sit on a branch and squawk, pay attention. Dropping that if you're a Huxley fan, if anyone's a Huxley fan. Jerry says, yeah, it sounded a little different when you said, like, can you go untouched? That sounded like a movie name, Nobody. I hope you have seen it. I've seen parts of it. Let's see. Our young friend Zach says, here's my quote. You only live once, so live it to its fullest. Wise words, my friend. Let's see. Jerry says, just one Sue. Hey, hi. I'm sorry I missed your text. I was talking to the real great gentleman, Mr. Eric. Well, thank you for that. Let's see. Sniper says only once. I completely disagree uh, with Zach, but just my opinion. Queen is here. Queen, my friend, how are you? It's going well for me. And Zach says info is not knowledge. I agree with that. Knowledge is imagination. Nice. Now that's an awesome quote. Wolf says, highest to Caitlin. Squirrel Sniper says, imagination is confirmed by intuition. Nicely said. So I see Eric LaPointe said on Burpee Reaper's channel, they finished up. Jacob's phone died. He's on number 70, so what, 30 to go? But he's still going, still getting it. That's the way to do it. I had no doubt whatsoever. Jacob looked rough a few times, but you know what? He shook it off and dove back in each and every time. Hey, I was talking about how awesome the mods have been here. And speaking of awesome mods, our friend Squirrel Sniper has been doing an excellent job over at Noble's channel. Noble's putting in some epic live streams, really long. So it's good to know that someone's got his back. It's good to know that someone truly has his back. And that's Squirrel Sniper. He is definitely a straight shooter. Let's see. Zach says, I want to grow up and be like Albert Einstein because he's smart, funny, inspiring, and nice to everyone. He was a good man. Although, Zach, you can grow up to be the very first Zach. The very first authentic, fully self-realized, all-loving, compassionate, empathetic Zach. Dottie says, sorry, I was listening, but back watching now. Not a problem. Appreciate you coming back. Jerry says, reason for everything to hold on to memories, imagination, is basically memories are the only things that don't change, while everything else does. Or do memories actually change? I would say, I would surmise, from a Buddhist perspective, from a yogic perspective, from a Course in Miracles perspective, that the only thing that doesn't change whatsoever is the awareness of everything that changes. And that when we are centered in our truest reality, which is awareness itself, then we've reached that state of realization where we're removed from suffering. Does it mean we don't feel pain? Does it mean we don't feel grief? Does it mean we don't feel sorrow? Absolutely not. We do, because we're alive. However, we don't add suffering into the mix, because now we're no longer holding on to the things that change. Now we're no longer holding on to a memory of something, good or bad. We simply let it go. Because everything in the end is already let go. We don't have to do anything to let go. We just simply need to realize that it's already gone. The past is a thought. The memory is an imagined thought that hasn't happened yet. Right now is the reality of existence. You're centered. You're here. Square one. There's no square two. Donnie says, my youngest son is called Zach. Nice. Squarespace says, I learned one of the 10 Kings in Genesis last night and the year of the rain. Through a book. And a book other than the Bible? What are you reading these days, Squirrel Sniper? Wolf says, I think we are born with all the knowledge of the universe, but lose the ability to access it around the time we get speech. Then the rest of our lives are trying to find the keys to that knowledge. Nicely said. It's funny you liken that, you connect that with speech, because that's when we start labeling everything. We lose knowledge when we start to label everything, because now it becomes a thing. And we don't need to know it any further. We lose the magic. We lose the magic of a tree once we call it a tree. Man, I really like that, Wolf. Especially, I mentioned before, I'm going to substitute knowledge with intelligence. Although, the same thing. I just like saying intelligence. That, like Wolf was saying, we are born with all the same intelligence anyone else has. We don't need to create a body different than what our DNA has been allowed to express. It's been given. The intelligence of DNA. Here we are. The intelligence of the blood knowing what to do, the heart knowing what to do, the spleen doing whatever it is the spleen actually does. I don't know. Some spleening, some spleen-like activity. How's that for intelligence? The universe knows exactly what to do, and we aren't separate from the universe. If I hold my hand up in the sky, is there any place where my hand leaves off and the sky begins, or the sky leaves off and my hand begins, or is it just one seamless expression of intelligence? Especially considering that we are made up of the same elements, that the very same elements, not versions of elements, not different elements, the very same elements that emerged with the explosion of the Big Bang. Whatever your view of cosmology, of the beginning of the universe, we know that we were made from stardust. We know that we are made of the same stuff the earth is made of. The Genesis says we're made of clay, and we don't become a thing, we don't become life itself until we are breathed into existence from the breath of God. Jerry says, I agree. Barb says, I think the reality of knowledge is never lost. We just caught up in life and doing things. We pushed the knowledge far back in our minds. Man, I love when you said doing things, because yes, we were born human beings and we become human doers. We got lost in the busyness of the world. We got lost in the busyness of a life that we inherit from other people. We don't create anything ourselves. Everything's been given to us. We are told, if you live in America, we are told there's 1, 2, maybe sometimes 3 political parties. We are told that some people are good, some people are bad. We are told that there's good and that there's evil. We are told that some people live in a city, some people live in the country. We're told all this stuff. And it's all made up. And yet we're supposed to believe it. And generally speaking, we do, because we're young, we're innocent, we don't know any better. These people are bigger. They seem to know what they're talking about. They're awful busy, so they must be important. Squirrel Sniper says, sending you PDF right now. Thank you for that. Hey, Noble, I was just talking about you, my friend. I was mentioning what a wonderful mod Squirrel Sniper is. Noble, how are you doing? I've been following your live streams in the morning. I don't always get the opportunity to say hi, but I always click on it. I always try to have it up. I always try to give some watch hours. Let's see. Wolf says, Yogi, I know lots of people with knowledge, but not enough intelligence to use it. Nicely said. Um, or we could also flip that around, that everyone has the innate natural intelligence of the universe, but they don't know how to use the knowledge that they've inherited. Both are correct. Score Sniper says, The History of Antiquity, 1877. I believe you mentioned that a couple days ago. Zach says, when people label things, it's like they don't want students or others to actually learn. Nicely said, Zach. Hey, believe it or not, our friend Zach here is 10 years old. Imagine that wisdom now at 10. What is it going to be like 20, 30, and 40? Gives me hope. Gives me hope for a better world, guys. This is why I believe it was Pascal who said, once you label me, you negate me. And not just me. Once you label a tree, you negate the tree. Once you label anything, you negate it. Once you say, I'm a Republican, once you say, I'm a Democrat, you negate yourself. Because now you got a viewpoint to uphold. Now you got a party line that you have to toe. Squirrel Sniper is in the house. Let's see. Who else did I see? The Burpee Reaper. Burpee Reaper has just hit some big numbers. And he did you do some extras too? Squirrel Sniper says access the Akashic Records. Absolutely. Very big philosophical discussion in the yogic as well as the Buddhist. Not so much in the Buddhist, but a little. Most specifically in Tibetan Buddhism. Barb says, hi, Reaper. Nice workout today. Epic. Man, you guys saw Jacob through. I mentioned above that, man, how awesome for Jacob. Because there was times when I thought, man, you could see he was hurting, and then he shook it off, and he smiled, and he dove right back in. There was times when you guys said, Jacob, are you ready? And he looked like, and then he smiled and said yes, and he was ready, just like that. Amazing. This is why when Eric Lapointe does his shot caller routine, when he hits 2K, he needs to call on our friend Burpee Reaper. Squirrel Simple says carbon, everything is carbon. It is the largest element that we're made of, that's for sure. It was actually, this is several months ago, looking at some books on carbon on Amazon. Eric Point says, hey to Squirrel Sniper and Noble. Is our friend Noble still with us? Noble, when are you starting school? Leo says, much love, brother Yogi. Thank you for the support. You're welcome, my friend. I had to be there for you to call me out. My fellow Yogi brother calling me out on live stream. Let's see. Jace is here. Jace, my friend, how are you? Jace says, greetings all. What an effort from Louise, Leo, and Jacob. It was. Let's see. Squirrel Simple says, tell me, would you rather university education or common sense? It's tough. I think I'm going to go with common sense. Because you can self-educate, but you can't always gain common sense. Decision for some. Reaper says, oh, I know the Burpee Reaper. Reaper, or Leo said later, guys, Um, Thank you for the love and support. Time to drive 9 hours to get home. Wow. So see you on the other side, guys. Reaper says, know how to stop the live and watch Jacob finish it off. Nice. Way to support. Jason says, safe travels. Leo, definitely safe travels, guys. Zach says, I've been studying all the math, science, and history from before 2000 and even 17. So can teach other youngsters about math, science, and history instead of just reading labels. Nice. Not only is that smart, it is pretty wise, Zach. Flower says, hi, it's Yogi. I won't be here for long. I'm using my data. The Wi-Fi just cut out. Hey, well, take care of your data for sure. Sniper says, too, Zach, do you know about the number 2178, 2178? Zach says, well, Sniper, what do you mean? Jay says, I'm not in for long as England plays Spain. Yep, someone mentioned that to me before in the soccer finals. England's have not won a competition since 1966. Wow. All right, in that case, I have just become one, I've just become a football fan. Two, I've just became an England football fan. Good luck to your team, my friend. Scoresucker says, the strongest material known to man, it's carbon. Carbon used on the edges of missile ballistics. Wow. Just says, you're the best. I'm rooting for you. England is well represented in the live stream, that's for sure. Sniper says 2178 is the only number that isn't collapsible on itself. Take any number and take it away from its reverse order. All of the numbers collapse to 0 except 2178. Wow. Pauline is here. I never know if I should say Pauline or Pauline. I believe it's pronounced Pauline, right? How are you, my friend? Zach says, okay, Squirrel Sniper. That might be something to look up, Zach. Look up that number. Some people believe that Pauline. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jace, right before he leaves, he drops me just a little bit of wisdom. Does a great courtesy for me. Thank you, my friend. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me say hi to my cat, as it's been all of, 5 minutes since the last time I said hi to my cat. And I want to drop our friend Jace's link real quick. Jace has one, if not the of mine most favorite outros of a live stream, where he just very, very sincerely offers love, offers kindness, offers compassion to everyone, not just those who joined in, but he puts it out there in the world. Um, that's the kind of stuff that we need these days. Squirrel Sniper gives us a breakdown. I gotta admit, most math, honestly, all math is beyond me. Jay says you're always welcome, and it's a pleasure to call you my friend too. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Zach says, hey Yogi, do you have any side jobs? Sort of. Officially, these days, I am a meditation teacher and breathwork coach. I teach the foundation and philosophy of yoga. But right now, this is it for the most part. I'm coming here and I am talking, hopefully making sense. Zach says, I lost a subscriber today. We were talking about that up above. Zach Flowers mentioning some of the subscribers that she lost. It's part of the game. You're going to gain some, you're going to lose some. But here's the thing. Overall, you'll keep gaining them. That's what Barb just said. Zach, your subs will go up and down for all of us. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Barb. Squirrel Sniper says, check again. Barb says she just connected. Still have 5. You might have more than 5 now. Squirrel Sniper is urging you to refresh your page. Let's check. We can always visit. According to my count, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master has 7 subscribers. Which, if I'm not mistaken, was more than when you came in. Jay says, we're only taught 2-dimensional mathematics. There's a lot more to it when dimensions are added. Our equations don't work. It's very complex. Now you're speaking Squirrel Sniper's language, that's for sure. I'm waiting to see what he has to add to that. I have a feeling he's going to be in agreement to it. I just bought a book. 2 + 2 = 5. And it is basically a lot about what we were talking about. That we're always told that 2 + 2 = 5. However, when we can change how we look at the world, we see that it's not based upon the things that we've been handed, the things that we've inherited. Zach says, I did. Thanks very much. I'm a small YouTuber, so I enjoy the help. Barb and Squirrel. Hey, we're all into it together, Zach. We're all into it together. Barb says, Jason connected to you also. Awesome. William says, how many people eat meat? Also my question from a non-declarative place. I not a yogi. The stance of limiting harm to living things. How it relates to eating meat. It relates 100% for me. That is the reason why I'm a vegan. And it's through, not exclusively, my own yoga understanding, the foundation of yoga, begins with ahimsa, which is non-harm, and as well as non-stealing. Those are just the first two. So how can I truly claim to be any type of yogi um, if I'm not adhering, if I'm stealing the life from anything, from anyone? I try to be very careful. But here's the thing, it's about limiting damage. People always say, well, what about this? What about that? What about whatever? Uh, you step on bugs, or, you know, I don't know. It's limiting. No one's going to be perfect. You aim for the bullseye, you're happy when you hit the target. Also, if I were to come here and preach about not eating meat and that everyone should do this or everything should do that, am I causing others harm? Am I stealing away something from them? Am I being a friend, or am I just preaching my opinion? So again, I approach things carefully, um, maneuver my way through conversations. I'm not here to tell people not to eat meat or to eat meat. Um, I talk about it on occasion. I'm always happy to talk about it, but it's always from my perspective and not what other people should do. I honestly believe that as we um, open empathetically to life itself, that the desire for any type of harm to happen on our watch diminishes to the point where we just start making these compassionate decisions moment by moment by moment. Does that mean becoming a vegan? Not necessarily. It just means being more aware. You know, can we make a wiser decision? Can we eat, cage from what we know to be 100% non-cage? Can we eat eggs from a non-cage? Can we buy from farmers that, this is something we actually talked about with Scroll Sniper before, um, that, we were told to be shepherds. We were told to tend to life. We were told to, husbandry, not factory farms. Um, I much prefer people fish or hunt for their meat, or raise it themselves, than have it be tortured. And that now we're not just consuming meat, we're consuming antibiotics, uh, hormones, as well as the fear that has been produced by animals in that condition, as well as the fear and the suffering of the people who have to tend to those animals. That's a great question, William. Squirrel Sniper says, Jace, phi and pi is hidden within our measures of the pass away of the inside pyramids. Man, I gotta admit, you guys lose me whenever you talk about numbers. I find it fascinating. I don't understand it, but I still find it fascinating. William says you have people in your life that are that do or are pro meat. The vast majority of people in my life are. Everyone in my family. I share a house with my brother who is cooking meat at this moment. And when he's done eating meat for dinner, he will have meat for dessert. And when he's done his meat dessert, I don't know, he's going to do some type of meat-like activity, only to wake up in the morning and have more meat. That's his life. I've never once said to him, stop. Who am I to say anyone, stop? I have my preferences, but they're my preferences. And you know what? Here's an easy upgrade in life. Take all the demands that you have and just flip them around to a preference, and find out how much more peace you have. A preference over demand. There's no room to maneuver when you make demands. When you have a preference, you shrug. Let's see. Squirrel Sniper says, I only eat meat, no vegetables or fruits here. I'm 51, fit as a fiddle, loving life. Which is cool, because I can say the very similar thing, that I'm 59. Up until COVID, I was still doing ultra races. So I'm still doing 50K 24-hour races. My last 100-mile race was in 2019. Um, I stopped. One race just stopped during COVID, and then my father got ill, and then I just sort of lost the desire. But I've done 900 plus days of burpees, going on 1,000. Before that, I worked out every day with kettlebells. Before that, I did Olympic lifting, then powerlifting, then bodybuilding. I don't know when I had a day off of doing the stuff that I love. Um, and I haven't had meat in going on 16 years now. There's always more than one way. And the key is, you know, Squirrel Sniper is someone that I like and respect. So why would I take an anti-meat stance to a friend? Because again, that doesn't respect ahimsa, the non-harming. Why would I harm our relationship? Because I have an opinion. Squirrel Sniper has known that I'm a vegan. He's never once said, eat meat. Now, I have people just in the beginning of this conversation who literally demanded that I eat some meat. Jay says, Squirrel Sniper, that's true. But the universe is 100, it's 100 not based on straight lines. Would you not agree? It's going to be an interesting conversation. Let's see. Our friend Zach's going to go. Well, thanks for stopping by, Zach. And thanks for sharing your wisdom. Sniper says, I am married to a vegetarian, and my children are both vegetarian through choice. Nice. Let's see. Let me catch up, guys. Jay says, thanks for the subs. And Pauline, thanks for the kind message. Nice, guys. Squirrel Sniper says, Jace, are you sure of that message or that statement? No Earth's curvature can be measured. The horizon is horizontal for a reason. The seas are called sea level for a reason. Airplanes have the plane. But that's just my observation. Jace says, Squirrel, that's what your eyes see. Sniper says, love your food as it grows up, not just from out of the pocket. Agreed. Barb says, my blood pellets are so low that my doctors say I have to have red bloody meat. I would rather have seafood. Can't have roughage. What about, is there any supplements you can take to help with that, Barb? Jay says, if you research, you're normally led to the flower of life, but where did the flower come from? We will never know. Sniper says, Jace, it's also what I can see with my spotting scope. I see further than the pseudoscience teaches us. Barb says he used to eat all raw veggies and then got Crohn's. My sister has Crohn's. I think I mentioned that to you before. Man, she's had a tough go through, wow, 30 years. And then my life changed. So now I have to eat softer foods. Sniper says, Jace, the flower of life is part of the physical, mathematical that keeps us attached. It overlaps. Whereas the hidden Fibonacci, I remember you mentioning this sequence, is a spiral that flows in a different direction. Jace says, now we're talking. Then there's all the energies within. I'm no expert, but I've spent years studying. The Master Sergeant, retired. Milka is here. Finally, a fellow vegan joins the conversation. Let's see. Barb says, I'm on some, but with this cancer, it's always unstable. With the Dualian day, it's an uphill battle. Jace gives away to Milka. Barb says, hey, Milka hugs. I knew hearing Jace talk and being friends with Squirrel Sniper for a little while now, that you guys would hit on similar topics, similar themes, maybe have different views of it, but that it would all be interesting, that there'd be this, great minds coming together. Milka says, hey, Barb, hugs back at you. Sniper says, Jace has a Ipsissimus. Ipsissimus. I'll get it. I like that word. I'm wondering how I can fit it into a conversation. My findings conclude that all the Freemasonic monument and architects have the Fibonacci. I'll get it. Squirrel Sniper helped me with it before. Sequence built within its structure, and they are placed on the ley lines for a reason. I always go back to the simplicity of not knowing. Anytime we think we've hit a bottom level in the mystery of it all, we find that there is no bottom level to the mystery of it all. So I don't even try. I'm free falling. And the good news, there's no ground. I'm free falling without a parachute, and the good news, there's absolutely no ground. So I can just keep on falling. Mystery itself is what holds us. Squirrel Sniper once again helps me with Fibonacci. So this is probably for the 15th time that our friend Squirrel Sniper has helped me with this. I appreciate it each time that he does. This time I wrote it down in my big book of cheat sheets. Jay says, I'm accustomed to being called different. Me too. There is definitely a controlling element somewhere. As I said earlier, we're all gifted knowledge on a timeline. It's very interesting. William, drop some big intuitive knowledge here. The illusion is that they are separate, that they are the same observed from different perspectives. Very nicely said, William. As if you're speaking from my heart, my friend. Squirrel Sniper says not knowing is an ignorance. It's because you know there's something. I agree. It's not from ignorance. That not knowing is the acceptance that it's all a mystery. And that even when we think we know something, there's still a larger mystery at play. That it's just an appearance within the great isness of it all. And that even that is ongoing and continuous. That behind the bottom line of the bottom line is a bottom line that doesn't have a bottom line. Don't ask me to repeat that because it ain't going to happen. Um, Damn, I wish I wrote that down. So enjoy the mystery, enjoy the uncertainty. In Zen Buddhism, most particularly the Korean school of Zen Buddhism, it is all based on not knowing. For me, the extent of my Zen is through the English architect and great mystic Douglas Harding, passed away in 2007, I believe, at 96, and the Headless Way. Simply pointing at our non-head-like space, the great void, the great emptiness, and finding it open and aware, containing everything. If it contains everything, then everything's a possibility. Anything can appear here. Who am I to limit it? Why would I seek to limit it? Barb says, I love his cheat sheets. Thank you for that. I referred to it early in our YouTube relationship. I refer to it often to help me. La Akira, which I still probably get wrong. William says, I've tried to be vegan. I try mostly to not eat meat or cheese, but I consume honey though. Again, the great wisdom that was presented to me on my beginning of my vegan path was aim for the bullseye. Be happy when you hit the target. That's good enough. That's good enough. Here's the thing, Roy. I'm just grateful that there's someone like you who wants to be careful, who wants to be kind, who wants to be compassionate. Jay said that's called a spiral. Barb says, boy, I can't eat honey. It really messes with my system. Barb says, yep, so close enough. I try to practice it out of great respect. Great respect and great love. Sniper says, double tordial spiral, a vortex. Mocha says, just being the best vegan I can be, won't be perfect, but as close as I can get. It's pretty damn good that, you know, the decisions that Mocha make are based upon her kindness, her compassion, and her empathy. It's a nice way to go through life. It doesn't have to be reflected the same way in everyone's diet. Everyone reflects it in their own way, through their own filters. I talk quite a bit about the yogic kleshas, the entanglement of the mind, how the true knowledge is what lies beyond the entanglement of the mind, the 5 kleshas, the afflictions of the mind, our attachments, our aversions, our fear of death, our belief that we are a limited self, personality, and ego, as well as the ignorance that we are even caught up in all of that. So everything else, in my opinion, is sort of a moot conversation if we haven't gained our own sense of liberation and being free from all of that. It doesn't have to mean a complete breakaway. When we become aware of those afflictions, and A Course in Miracles brings it down even more succinctly, that we have 2 choices. We have fear and we have love. Love is the only reality. Fear is simply the projection that goes on in the mind. But at any time, we can forgive those projections and we can extend ourselves in love. That's just an easier way of going through the 5 afflictions of the mind, the kleshas. I love the way that yoga offers 8 branches of yoga to help us see that, and that Buddhism gives us an 8-fold path to help us see us, and Course in Miracles says, just forgive. Just forgive the projections. And eventually you see through them. Mocha says there are vegans who consume honey. Squirrel Simple says honey is a preservative, the best in his opinion. It's a pretty, man, it has so many properties, so many healing properties. I can see making a case for it. I can see making a case that it's fairly non-invasive. I'm not anti-honey. I don't consume it myself, but I'm not anti anything. As soon as you're anti anything, you've set yourself up as opposition. And I am not in opposition to anything. It's why when Mother Teresa was asked if she would protest against the war, this was the Vietnam War, and she refused, which upset a lot of people, and they couldn't understand why. She said in an interview that she will not be against anything because it lends its strength to what she opposes or what she doesn't like. However, if you have a march for peace, if you have a march for love, if you have a march for compassion and empathy, she'll lead it. She's all in. Sniper says it preserves lives too. Sterile dressings. I know some ultra runners who relied solely on honey. I couldn't do that. Just having something sweet for 24 hours, man, it would make me feel like my teeth were rotting. But a little bit of honey in a race. So, guys, I think I'm going to wrap things up for the afternoon. I'll be back in, I think, like 2.5 hours or so. Hey, I'm glad Squirrel Sniper and Jace, because I love the fact that they think so much alike and also think so differently at the same time. So it leads for a very dynamic, interesting conversation, and it takes you further and further down that rabbit hole of possibilities of what can happen, you know? Eric Lapointe says, another great live. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you being here. I'm really looking forward to your shot caller routine. I might actually, you know what? I might actually throw it out there. When Eric Lapointe hits 2K and does his shot caller routine, I'll do it with him. Of course, that could cause me to sabotage his YouTube channel, discourage people from subscribing. It'll be the opposite of all I've ever wanted to do, which is help people. Although, on the other hand, it would be helping Eric Lapointe get the shot caller. So, I'm all in. I'm all in, Eric Lapointe. Goldie says, hi and bye there, lovely people. Hey, Goldie, today your day off? Jay says, thanks, brother. See you after the football. Hey, enjoy the game. I'm rooting for you, man. Get a salute from Eric Lapointe. So we're going to shut things down. Eric Lapointe says, all right, I'm in. Hey, let's double check Eric Lapointe's number, see what I've gotten myself into. Six months ago, without hesitation, I would have said, sure, shot caller, I'm in. Because I had upped my burpee game. It was pretty intense. I was doing them every single day. I still am doing them every single day. Well, 1.19. For a second, I didn't see that 1. I saw 1.9, and I thought, oh, man, I'm in trouble. But now, as you know, I'm doing burpees after some other stuff. But I think that'll still carry me through. As it gets closer, as Eric reaches that point where we know it's going to happen, I'll start gearing up for that. Eric Point says he's in. Awesome. And you know what? We'll take our time. We'll just get through it. One rep at a time. Wolf says, blessings Goldie and everyone. You too, my friend. Barb and Goldie and Mocha. Everybody. Eric Lapointe and Jace. Squirrel Sniper, our young friend Zach. Just going to scroll up a little bit. Of course, I can't forget Flower, the iron-fisted Flower. And we had Leo and Reaper both stop in to give us a nice report. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Noble stopped by. Dottie was here. Jerry was here. William, my friend. William, send me a message on Facebook now that we're connected. And let's keep talking. Let's keep the conversation going in a meaningful way of what we can do. Do you want to do some breath work? Do you want to do some meditation? Do you want to talk about A Course in Miracles? Do you want all of the above? Send me a message. Let me know. Goldie says, this is what I was waiting for. Yes, that's why I'm off YouTube. I appreciate you stopping in and saying hi. Enjoy that day off. You certainly earned it. Massive days in a row. 4 12-hour shift days in a row. Much respect and love to our friend Goldie. So, guys, I'll be back in a little while. Thanks for popping in. Much appreciated. Take care, guys.